Good day, everyone. I'd like to welcome you back to the Bloody Fork Homestead. In this particular video, I want to address something that's coming for many of us, and that's old man winter. And we're going to have to heat our houses. I'd just like to share what we do here in the mountains to heat our house, and hopefully it will help you with some of your heating costs. One of the things that we use is LP. It would be nice to have a natural gas line that comes here, but we don't, and many of you don't out in the country. And LP right now for us is about $3.50 a gallon. We last winter used one of these tanks. This year we filled both of them up, but the plan is to use one tank, and the only way that we can do that is to supplement it with some other sources of heat, which I'll share with you. What used to be here at one time is still buried under the ground, the old tank, which was fuel oil. Fuel oil is, I believe, one of the more expensive ways to heat a house. There's an underground tank here, but many people heat with fuel oil around here. We see the fuel oil truck go up the road some, and it runs close to $5 a gallon. I know someone up the way, they just had it filled up, $1,100 to fill it up, and they'll have to do it again probably in January, another $1,100. Very expensive way to heat your home, but there are some other options which we'll consider. In our basement, what used to fill up this space right here was a fuel oil furnace, and it took up a huge space, and we replaced it with an LP furnace, a carrier, which is about 90% efficient. It's a good heat, but we don't rely on it totally. There's other sources of heat that we use, but this can also accommodate a heat pump, which we may do down the line, add a heat pump to this unit. But a high efficiency furnace is well worth the money. And one of the things we did was added some new ductwork in here, and we also added this furnace. There's another source of heat in our basement, and it's this unit right here. A previous owner installed this. We used it some. It's supposed to heat the whole house. It doesn't really do that well. One of the things we discovered is it likes lots of wood, and you don't get a whole lot of heat as a result of it. So we don't really use this. It's there if we have to have it. But a couple other sources of heat that we use on this homestead. Our main source of heat comes from this particular wood stove, and we also have an insert in our living room, but this one throws out enough heat to pretty much heat the house. And we find that it's cheaper than buying LP because we have access to wood here. And one of the other things that we did in this room, this used to be a carport, but now it's our sunroom, is that we added some high efficiency windows over here to the sunroom. And we discovered, when I made a scuttle hole and went up on top, discovered there was no insulation in this room. Zero. So with the help of my wife, feeding the bags of insulation, we added 15 bags of insulation in this room, and what a difference it's made. It's made this room and the rest of the house much warmer. As a result, when you get this thing cranked up, it heats the rest of the house no problem. But what we use here is mostly wood heat during the winter time. We find that we'll use the LP gas furnace when it's more moderate weather. It seems like it does pretty good. It doesn't use up a lot of LP, but this is our main heat source. If it gets really cold and we want an extra boost of heat, we'll get this fireplace insert going. It's a heavy booger. It weighs several hundred pounds, and then it throws off a lot of heat. It has a blower on it, and it will easily blast you out of here. But if we need it, it's great to have this going too. Another source we have in our bedroom and also in our office area is a wall heater, and this is from it's from ENVI. These are pretty good. They run off with just a regular, you can just plug it in to any wall outlet. They cost about 4 or 5 cents an hour to operate, which is pretty reasonable. You can shut off a room and it'll easily heat a room. Sometimes we'll put this on at night and shut our door and use this particular heater to keep it warm in a room. But it works fairly well. Another consideration when it comes to heating your home, wherever it is where you have your thermostat set. Some people like it toasty, 70, 72, 74, but it costs you a lot more. Every degree you go up, it costs you quite a bit more. But one of the considerations is setting your thermostat lower and dressing appropriately. Having wool socks, maybe a wool sweater, something to wear around the house. You may not be running around in your underwear if you have it set that low, but it makes a big difference if you can just lower the temperature on your thermostat. Of course, here we can supplement when we get the wood stove going. It makes the whole house 74, 76 degrees, but it's nice to have. But when we're running just the furnace, we keep it lower. Plus it's nice and toasty with the supplemental heat going, the wall heaters in the bedroom. But just a couple considerations when it comes to staying warm this winter, without it making you bankrupt along the way.